What's going on, guys? Welcome back to FBA Capital, and today I'm bringing you guys another daily range case study on NAS100. So let's get right on into the charts. So first things first, I'm going to mark up the previous day's highs and the previous day's lows. So as you can see, as of right now, price is currently making its way. Forgot the mic was a little bit far away, but if you didn't hear what I said, welcome back to FBA Capital. We're bringing you back another case study on NAS100. So let's get right on into it. But like I was saying, right now, price is currently making its way all the way up to this previous day's high that currently hasn't been reached yet, but this was a target that I was looking at for price to potentially tap into. And right now it's actually coming into this 14,800 area. But before that, let's get the previous day's low. We're going to mark out the previous day's low, which is down here. Had this previous day's low, got taken through. Pay attention to that. That's what I want you guys to keep your eyes onto what happened here. After clear this previous day's low, look what happened in price. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the previous day's Asian range. So right here from 18 all the way to midnight, we got the Asian session range. Let me get like a little bit right there. Then I'm going to get the 12 a.m. open. Now that we have everything outlined, I want you guys to all pay attention to what happened in price. Overall, I'm going to draw the schematic early on just to get it out the way. So we had the Asian session range. What happened after that? Price came down, cleared the lows during London session. Early London session. This is right when the market opened, around 1:30 in the morning. Price came back up, retraced into it, came lower, cleared the previous day's low, and then from here, price overall had that big expansion to the top side. So that's overall what happened in a schematic format. And why is this important? Because these are things that you're going to want to replicate in the future. You're going to see patterns like this form all the time. It's not going to be ideally like this, but like I have multiple dozens of examples of the daily case studies, daily ranges with these schematics. So now I'm going to show you guys specific areas I want you to pay attention to. I want you to pay attention to this low down here, this current high where price is at right now. Why are these important? Because for one, we had this low of the day at 10 in the morning after doing what? Clearing the previous day's low and also clearing this low right to the left. We had two false breaks right here at 10 in the morning. So what does that tell us? New York session is making the low of the day, clearing a previous day's low, having a false break, and showing the willingness to potentially want to go higher. And also, you got to look at where we are price-wise. We're at 14,500, which is a big figure level. And up here, we also have another big figure level, which is 14,800, where price currently is tapping into, making the high of the day as of right now. The market closes, not the market closes, the daily close is going to be in about, right now it's 10:45, so I say in about an hour, 15 minutes. So we're making the high of the day after tapping into 14,800, which is a big figure level, and I don't think we're going to have a major drop in the next hour or so. So I'm just anticipating this is going to be the high of the day, and it's currently the high of the day as of right now. So what do I want you guys to know? Down here, we had this low of the day at 10 a.m. Plus, we had the previous day's low cleared. Plus, we had a false break of the lows to the left. Plus, we tapped into 14,500, and we're also making the low of the day during the New York session. Just like that. So there was a lot of reason for me to believe that price wanted to go higher. This is actually somewhere I was looking to take my trade. I was anticipating price was going to go higher based off of higher time frames. Like I said, remember this is the same thing I was showing you guys yesterday. The same higher time frame markup. Rejected this higher time frame order block, tapped into it yesterday. We had that bearish day, tapped into it, cleared yesterday's low, and then from here, price had this expansion to the top side. And as you can see, this is what it resulted in. This isn't a small move. This is about a 280 pip move. So even on the smallest lot size on NAS100, you could potentially make $280 just today. Also, I also forgot to add that we're also below the 12 a.m. open. What do we know about being below and above the 12 a.m. open? When you're below the 12 a.m. open and you're ideally bullish, you're going to want to be buying below. When you're bearish, you want to be selling above the 12 a.m. open. So when we were down here, I was only looking for buys, and based off the higher time frame premise, that's why I was anticipating price to go higher. Personally, this is where I got in. I got in somewhere in here, right in here, and I had my stop loss below this low over here. So I wasn't able to capitalize on this move. I was able to I was up about 68 pips as here. You can see I ended up breaking even, and then this candle came down, stopped me out. And then from there, I didn't take any more trades for the day, and then this happened all here. But pay attention to where this happened here. Below the 12 a.m. at a specific time during New York session, tapped into a big figure level, cleared the lows to the left, and then overall pushed higher. Now we're going to bring our eyes up to here. We have the high of the day. At right now, it's like, I'm going to say 11 a.m. It's 10 minutes to 11, but it's basically 11 a.m. Plus, we're also tapping into that 14,800 level, which is a big figure level. As you can see, price is currently rejecting it with the last candle, rejected it slightly. And then we're also, if we go to say slightly higher time frames, see if there's any order blocks within here. There's not any order blocks within here, so we're just going to keep it as that. We have the high of the day at 14,800, and we're about to clear the previous day's high. If we cleared the previous day's high, I would have put that we target the previous day's high, but as you can see, we did not. But now I want you to look at where you could potentially look to potentially get a retracement. So even if you weren't able to catch this overall major move from down here, where could have you potentially got in at? Now let's pull this fib to this high right up here. What do we see? We see price came right down to this 38.20%. It wasn't a clean example, but look all the way to the left. What did it retest? It retested the Asian session high. So we're going to have that all written down. We retested the Asian session high along with the 38.20%. So even if you didn't hop in on these candles, you could have waited, start consolidating. You could have waited till price started to break up. And even if you go on a lower time frame, after you seen this, clear this low to the left and reject like this and close almost above that 38.20% level, this is a good idea. This is something I personally would have wanted to capitalize on. I didn't, but this is all hindsight at the end of the day for educational learning purposes. So let's see where we are in price. We didn't come into any big figure levels or whole number levels, so we're not going to have that. So we're just going to put this was a potential re-entry. We had a fib long. At what time? What time? This was at 13, so I'm going to say 145, 230, I'm going to say 3 o'clock. Fib long at 3 p.m. plus Asian range high retest. So there was 3 confirmations for why you could have potentially looked to enter this trade. Why? We retested the Asian session range. Also, we came above, retested the 38.20% on the fib long, and if you even say come to a slightly different time frame, you could probably even change the fib to something that would have been cleaner. So say on a 30-minute time frame, just like this, move the fib a little bit. It makes it a little bit cleaner. But at the end of the day, if you're sticking to one time frame, it makes it clean. So if you look at this, it's way cleaner now that we drew from the 30-minute. But if you don't draw from the 30-minute, it doesn't really matter. It just depends whatever time frame you like better. That's what I would personally use more. So as you can see, this is overall what happened today. Was a pretty clean day in my opinion. Simple day. This is a basic New York reversal bullish. Cleared the previous day's low, made the low of the day during New York session, and it showed a willingness to go higher, and then overall cleared the liquidity above the Asian session high, cleared the liquidity above the London session highs, and now we are coming into this big figure level, and we're about to clear the liquidity above this previous day's high more than likely tonight. But as of right now, that's really it. So this is a nice little quick breakdown on what happened. Nice and simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the screenshot, and I'm going to make sure I put this inside of my journal. I'm going to also put inside the chat. So if you're not in that Telegram chat, make sure you click the link in the bio. So let me just do this. Just in case you didn't know where I drew the fib from, I drew from this low to this high, had that retracement, and that's when price ended up pushing higher. And then even then, this is about a 145 pip move. So even if you would have risked potentially 50 pips, you still could have made an almost 1 to 4 trade, 1 to 3 trade just on this. Even though it's not during the time I would personally trade, the opportunity was still there. And even though this happened at a time I wouldn't trade, that doesn't mean that this necessarily won't happen on a day that I am willing to trade. So say this all happens, this is a London session move comes up, and this is a New York session move that I could potentially capitalize on. So at the end of the day, it's all about understanding the setups and understanding what is likely to happen, because if it happens once, it will happen again, and if it happens twice, it will happen 4 times. If it happens 4 times, it'll happen eight times. If it happens, it's going to happen again, and that's why you got to train your eyes to see these specific things that price does in these specific patterns. So nonetheless, copy the link. I'm gonna put this in the Telegram chat. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you found it helpful in any way, shape, or form. Even if I just helped you give a perspective on how I personally view the market, then just leave a like. And on that note, I will see you guys tomorrow morning for my live trading session. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you stay motivated by the fear of being average, and I'll see you guys in the morning.